Hello everyone, I'm Roger. I'm a chef and a small cafe owner in Needham, Massachusetts. Today we're going to debut our first segment of Shut Up and Eat. Today's recipe is Orecchiette pasta, broccoli rabe, hot Italian sausage. For today's recipe you're going to need hot Italian sausage, broccoli rabe, a red onion, 2 lemons, garlic, crushed red pepper, Romano cheese, and some pasta. First I'm going to cut up some broccoli rabe into small pieces like this. I discard the ends. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I do. So now that that's prepped, I'm going to take it back over here to the pot of boiling water. As I'm putting the broccoli rabe into the pot of boiling water, you'll notice that I have some garlic cloves, some lemon, and I also put salt in there. The salt is going to set the color, add some flavor. The lemon is in there just to take a little bit of bite out of the broccoli rabe. I'm going to cook this for a few minutes, just until it gets soft. And I like the color. So after a few minutes, I'm going to scoop it out with my strainer. And when I take it out, I'm going to immediately shock it in a bowl of ice water, just so I can stop the cooking process. I'm using this strainer because it makes it easier, and I'm also going to use this water for the pasta and the sausage. The next step of this recipe, I'm going to take my sausage links and I'm going to place them into a pot of simmering water for 5 minutes. Now, this is important. Hey Siri, set timer for 5 minutes. Remember to set your timer. It's the easiest thing you can do to make sure you don't overcook your dish. So now we have the sausage in for 5 minutes and our timer set. I'm gonna cut up the onion, crush up some garlic, and zest a lemon. So we'll start with the onion. Take my knife, split it down the middle. Always leave the root end if you're gonna cut it into dices. It keeps the whole onion intact. Dicing up an onion, this is fun stuff. So you wanna make cuts like this. Keep your thumb tucked. Make sure you have it in the claw form on your board. Hold it down, and then you make a series of cuts like that. Again, you want to come down your finger, not cut your finger, and then same thing. Turn it, finger tucked. 2, 3, 4. You can also use a shallot if you'd like. It has a really good flavor to it as well. Just like that. Now I'm on to prepping the garlic. I'm going to show you 2 different ways of doing it. First, I'm going to take it, I'm going to smash it. It's again, claw. It's called the claw because it looks like a claw. You tuck your thumb in behind your finger. Keep your thumb in. One of my chefs told me I was going to take my thumb off. I've almost taken my thumb off because I never remember to put my thumb behind my finger. So it's a constant reminder every time I do this, thumb in. It's an everyday thing you have to tell yourself because it's not a natural position for your hands. Now that it's crushed, I'm going to show you how to pulverize it. You have to have a pretty sharp knife, which you should have anyway because a dull knife is very dangerous. So with your fingers on the blade, you just push towards you. Scrape and push. And as you can see, it's almost gone, but in 2 seconds you're going to see what it looks like as I get it all pulverized. Now that's the pulverized. That will melt into your olive oil or whatever fat you're using. There's a little bit of a less of a garlic taste to it, but you'll still have the flavor, but it won't be as much of a bite. Last part of the prep, I'm gonna zest a lemon real quick. I have a microplane, and you wanna take it and you wanna just go in one spot. You don't wanna go over to the other spot because you don't want the white. You just want the yellow. The white is bitter, and we already have some bitter in the dish already, so we don't want any more. That should be good for the recipe we're making today. All right, let's take a look here. Looks to be good, but I'm going to let Siri tell me. Take the whole sausage now that I've par-cooked it, and I'm going to cut it into rounds. Thickness doesn't matter, whatever you like. I like it about 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 of an inch. As you can see, it's not all the way cooked through. The reason for that is I want it to finish in the pan with the garlic, the olive oil, and the broccoli because it's all going to come together when I put the pasta in. All these juices on here are a great thing for the dish because if I cooked it all the way through, it wouldn't be as good. See all these juices? That is a beautiful thing for the dish. You want that. I made this dish 1,000 times for my friend Gino and my wife, so trust me, I'm not going to steer you wrong. This is the way to go. All right, so I'm putting my pasta in. As you can see, I've used the same pot of water. Reason for that is this is a flavored water. It has salt, garlic, lemon, sausage, broccoli rabe. Now it has the pasta. What the pasta is going to do is it's going to absorb all those flavors. It's only going to benefit your dish. And it's also, you only have 1 pot to clean at the end of this. I'm going to set my timer for 8 minutes. Hey Siri, set timer for 8 minutes. My timer went off, the pasta's done. I'm going to take it out. I'm going to place it into a pot of cold water. Some may ask why I'm putting it into a bowl of water. The reason for that is I just need the pastas to stay separate for the cooking process in the skillet. That's all. There's no technique. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. All right, now that the prep is done, now we're on to the fun part. We get to actually cook this stuff. So we take a little bit of olive oil. Let's go half a cup. Let that heat up for a second. You don't want it to smoke because if it smokes and it gets too hot, bitter. Done. Discard it. Move on. Wipe out your dish. Start again because bitter olive oil ruins the dish. So it has a little shimmer on it. I'm going to add my sausage. And I'm going to cook for a few minutes. Stirring every now and again. Once again, you don't want to cook it all the way through. You just want to get a nice little brown on it. Get some stuff on the bottom of the pan. There's a very fancy culinary word. It's called fond. See that right there? We're going to get a little bit more of that. It's all flavor, everybody. And you want that. And we were also taught in culinary school that there needs to be a beginning, a middle, and an end to each bite of food. That in the beginning you're like, oh, hey, there it is. Then you bite into it again. Oh, I taste that now. And at the end, comes around. In the end of this dish, you're going to get a little bit of lemon, and you'll like it. You'll like it. We're about where I need it to be. I got some good coloring on the bottom. I got some good coloring on the sausage itself. Now I'm going to add some red onion to that. I'm going to just cook that for about 30 seconds. If I add my garlic now, it will burn, and we don't want that. So now you can see that the fond is really getting going here. We're going to use all that. Once we put the broccoli rabe in, it will pick all that up from the moisture of the broccoli rabe. Now let me add my garlic. I'm only going to cook for about, let's say 15 seconds. You can add as much garlic as you want to this dish. For those of you who remember an Italian place that used to overkill you with garlic, you don't want to do that either. So now that I cooked that, I'm going to add my broccoli rabe. I just want to heat it through, but not overcook, because I want everything to come together at once. And then you go and eat. You don't talk, you just eat. If you feel inclined to do so, just add a little bit of salt. Here we go. Some pepper. All right. I'm just going to let that cook for another few seconds. Let me show you real quick. All the brown nicely picked up. That, my friends, is inside of the broccoli, on the sausage, on the garlic, on the onion. I'm going to take a couple scoops of my pasta. The water's okay. It's going to go away. Stir that in. As you see me stirring this up, I'm coating all this pasta with all the flavors on the bottom of the pan, the broccoli rabe, the sausage, the garlic, all that stuff. This is a couple cups of the pasta cooking water. All that discoloration there, that is the flavor of the water, first of all. Secondly, there's starch in there. And that starch is going to help tighten this dish up and become nice and saucy and coat all the pasta. And you'll be happy you did all the flavoring of the water when you did it. So now you want to add about a cup of the pasta water to this, and you're going to cook for just a few more minutes. Now that I added a cup of my pasta water to this, I'm going to let it reduce down to about a tablespoon of water is left. We're about 30 seconds away from this dish being done and being plated up, but before that, I'm going to add a little bit of crushed red pepper. I used the hot Italian sausage, but you want a little bit of something. Turn off the heat. Add a handful of Romano cheese. That lemon zest that you carefully zested, not to get the white in there. All right, now we're going to stir it up. And you can see that it all comes together. Nice and saucy and creamy. Not loose, but not thick either. Without anything other than some pasta water and a little bit of cheese. Now to plate up, you have a nice dish. All right. Now this is my version of Gino'S pasta, which is broccoli rabe with orecchiette pasta and Italian sausage. Hope you enjoy. See you next time. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Thank you everyone for your time. I hope you enjoy the recipe with your family and your friends, and I'd like to send a special thank you to Abby for the use of her kitchen. You all have a great day. Take care. Bye.